Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the Patreons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it, guys. So today I wanted to talk about the F14A, but not only a normal F14A, but the possibility that in the future we might see the Iranian F14A. And is it possible? How good it would be? And especially, of course, if it's added, it would be added as a premium. So it's been kind of a talk for a very long time, since the F14A was added actually to the game, so more than a year right by now, that maybe in the far future we might see a premium F14. And of course, we already, this conversation goes on and goes on, right? Every single day that passes that they add a new top tier or something like that, every patch that we have, we basically would have a new top tier, and eventually when the top tiers are no longer near the older top tiers in the sense of performance, like for example when the MiG-29 got added compared to the MiG-23 in performance, they go ahead and push a little bit more on the premium, so adding something like the MiG-23 ML, like the F4S, F4J, and many other aircraft for the third generation, right? And we are kind of on the limit already in the third generation premiums, right? In the future, once we start to see the 4+ generations with Fox 3s and stuff, I guarantee to you guys that we will start to see new premiums, just like we had last year when the MiG-29 was added. For sure, when an Eurofighter, when a Gripen is added, starting slowly, maybe not in the same numbers as we had with the MiG-29s and stuff, we will see 4th generations becoming premiums. And of course, we will have maybe MiG-29s as premiums, as export models that will be a little bit capped. And of course, an F-14 would be a very interesting option. So why the F-14A for Iran? Well, first things first, it is the only export user of the F-14, which is cool by itself, you know. And the second is that they have some very interesting missiles that can be used in this thing, making it very unique about it. At the start, of course, we can talk about the cool skins and stuff that an F-14 such as the Iranian one would have. So it wouldn't use normally the normal grayish kind of skin that the F-14s use in the US Navy, right? It would actually use something more, you know, vivid, if you will. So that for itself, it's already kind of a motive for Gaijin to add something like this, because normally if options are needed, not that in US is needed, we will see like aircraft being added just because of that, right? The second part is that it wouldn't be OP, of course. It's an aircraft that is very old, you know, it would still not be the top dog shortly after these other aircraft are added. Right now, it's kind of a top tier. It's not really a top tier, the F-14A, but it's right up there, and it can still fight the MiG-29 SMTs and stuff and still be on top. So there's not a big enough discrepancy, so I wouldn't see them added right now. But in the future, as I said, this could be possible. Remember, we had a MiG-23 ML being added, which is almost basically the same as the MLA, right? So a top tier, an aircraft that used to be kind of a top tier being a premium for you to buy. So it's always something that happens, right? The second motive is the weapons. I think the main motive, right? Initially in the 70s, according to most sources, it's really hard to find information on this, but it would use just the AIM-54 as its main BVR missile, but also anything that they used in the F4s. So according to most sources, they didn't buy at the exact time any, you know, new AIM-9s or anything like that. They were supposed to receive the AIM-9L and the AIM-7F, but of course, because of the revolution that happened there, that wasn't the case. That didn't happen. So I think one of the main weapons would be the AIM-54, but also the AIM-7E. That was one of the main missiles for the F4s at the time. And my friend and I are kind of divided, but it would be or the AIM-9J or P, something like that, or the G variant. But we're pretty sure it's the JP variant. you know, so already it would be a little bit different. The second thing is in the weapon systems is that eventually they actually upgraded these, or they try to upgrade it. So they try two things. Of course, after the revolution and after all the political stuff that happened between the US and Iran, basically the US stopped delivering weapons to the F-14s and spare parts and stuff, so they had to just get creative, right, to actually maintain these aircraft in service, and they are in service until this day. So they try to use a Hawk air-to-air, ground-to-air missile, yes, a surface-to-air missile, but since the Hawk can only be, it was a very heavy missile, and it can only be used in pairs, it basically was forgotten a little bit, and they didn't, I mean, even though yes, it was implemented, so in theory it can be added with the Hawk missiles, it isn't in service with it because it can only carry two. Other integration that they try to do, and I think this was a little bit less successful, but in theory it can as well, is the R-27. Yes, the R-27 the MiG-29 uses. So imagine an F-14 with R-27s. That would be crazy. Like, it would, oh my god. And the last one, and probably the most interesting one, is this thing. So this is called the, it's very, like, it has many names. One of them is the Faraut 90. I think it's called like that. I don't know exactly. But it's the AIM, or MIM, I think, 23B, I think it's called, or AIM 23B, something like that. And it is basically a missile that has the, you know, the aerodynamics of a Phoenix. It is basically based off of the Phoenix, but with completely different missiles, missile internals, right? So according to the Iranian government, it is an active missile that has domestic design. It can hit targets up to 150 kilometers, so technically very close to the M54. But other sources claim that it uses a lot of things from the Hawk missile, but in an M54, but it's just a very different missile no matter what, right? So it would be very interesting to see this type of tests. It's very, very different, and honestly, even, I mean, I don't care about the political stuff, I just think it's very cool to see an F-14 this different. I love export models of American aircraft, no matter the country that uses it, it's cool, they're different. It's like the Israeli ones, the F-16s are very unique on their own way, you know. So the Iranian F-14 would be very, very cool in my opinion. So do you think it's possible? I think it is kind of likely, to be honest. But let's wait and see. And thank you, that F4, for killing me out of nowhere right there. But anyway, let me know in the comments if you think it's possible to see something like this. And I see you guys on the next one. So bye guys. See ya.